What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop, and thanks for joining me today while we talk about what is by far our single most popular product, the single Garmin PowerSwitch kit. This kit is a bolt-on kit for the 2nd and 3rd gen Tacoma, 4th and 5th gen 4Runner, a little bit of modification for the GX470 and GX460. You just take a plastic cover off, super easy. This kit has gone through years of modifications and development. We obviously have spent years wiring and working on trucks here in the shop, and we have learned over those years what it takes to build a kit that is easy to install, easy for customers to understand, and very, very serviceable in the long run, whether you're expanding your system, adding more lights, adding more circuits to your system, whatever it may be, going dual battery. We've learned everything there is to learn about wanting to run a system like this, and all of that has gone into developing this kit right here. This kit is what we would consider the perfect foundation kit for the vast majority of guys just looking to get out and explore and enjoy their other hobbies, whether that's fishing, hunting, backpacking, other forms of hiking, mountain biking, whatever it might be, simple overlanding. This kit checks the vast majority of the boxes for almost every person in those hobbies. So let's jump in and talk about what comes with the kit, what the features are of the kit, why it's laid out the way it is, and what the most commonly asked questions are. I'll meet you in the shop.
Here we go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us.
All right, let's start by talking about what the kit comes with. You'll always get stickers, you'll always get a thank you card, and you'll always get candy. Obviously, you see comes in nice laser cut foam. Then from here, you're just gonna grab your kit, pull it out of the foam. We'll set that aside. You're gonna pull the top layers of foam out here. Then you're gonna we include the Garmin PowerSwitch instruction manual. This is what comes in the PowerSwitch box, which you obviously don't get when you purchase the kit this way. You can get the ground for your Garmin PowerSwitch. That's one that comes from Garmin. You're going to get your terminal fuses. These guys are how we protect the Garmin PowerSwitch and the fuse block. We don't like using the inline fuses that come with the Garmin just because they end up landing right against the factory battery tie down on the Toyotas. And we have seen those arc out and pop that fuse. Thankfully, it's on the fused side of that connection and not the unfused side. Otherwise, you run into some serious issues. We really like fusing as soon into an electrical system as we can, and these are fused directly at the battery. That's why we use these guys. Set those aside. And then you've got one power cable here. This is made here in-house. We use motorsports grade battery cable, which is an awesome cable, super flexible, dual wall sheathing on the cable itself. And then we obviously cover that in the USA made actual TechFlex brand, as well as a Raychem heat shrink. Set that aside. We got another one of those. And those two, I should mention, are also identical. So whether you are running this to your Garmin PowerSwitch or to your fuse block, these cables are the same. We've done that for convenience sake. And then your ground cable obviously follows all of the same specs as your power cables. And then lastly, the 2 bolts that you need to mount it to the fender. If you're thinking, wow, there really isn't much to that kit compared to other stuff you've seen on the market, that's kind of because it's the point. We're not looking to make an overly complex system. The vast majority of people are not using 12 fused circuits along with 2 or 3 power switches. Although we do have solutions for those of you who do want a much larger system. Those will be linked below. But for the vast majority of people, as in 8, 9 out of 10 of you guys, you don't need more than this right here. You have 6 30 amp outputs on the Garmin PowerSwitch, as well as 2 inputs that you can use for programmable physical switches, or to tie into stuff like your bed light if you want to turn your rock lights on when you unlock your truck, or to tie into stuff like your high beams if you want all of your forward facing light to come on when you turn your high beams on. So in scenarios like that, you have awesome control with the Garmin PowerSwitch. You have a ground bar here. This is for all your grounds to go to, whether from the PowerSwitch or from the fuse block. This 4-fuse fuse block definitely gets the most questions of anything with this kit. So I'm going to go ahead and explain that real quick. The reason we've included this is because, you know, this power switch, the power switch itself is $500. There's 6 switches. By the time you mount it, you throw stuff like terminal fuses in there, you throw stuff like battery cables in there, your mount, your ground bar, all the other stuff that you may need, you're, you know, $700-800, and you're paying more than $100 per switch, basically, if you break the math out like that. Why on earth would you pay $100 for a switch to control your fridge when your fridge has a power button on the face of it and smart voltage control? So the vast majority of fridges have a low voltage cutoff. They'll cut off, no problem. And then on top of that, stuff like GMRS radios, ham radios, they all have power buttons either on the face, on the head of the display, or on the controller itself. So I'm not a fan of wiring that type of stuff to the Garmin PowerSwitch because it has its own power button built in. The new fridges, you can even control with your phone via an app like the Dometics, or I believe even maybe some of the ARBs. But nonetheless, why would you be spending over $100 a switch to control something that already has a switch, has low voltage cutoff, has everything else you need to run on its own, and it can get constant power? That's what this fuse block is for. This fuse block is a much, much cheaper alternative. You know, by the time you include the fuse, the power cable, the block, you're like, I think that makes up like 70 or 80 bucks of the entire kit. So such a small fraction compared to the power switch part of the kit. So definitely very happy with having this guy on here. This is something that was integrated after the first rendition of this bracket. This is something that was integrated because it was not on previous switch system brackets that we made, and we were kind of tired of trying to find ways to fuse stuff that we wired here in the shop. And so part of that learning lesson was to put fuses on here, but we still wanted the kit to be super low profile. We wanted to work for the vast majority of customers, and for most people, if you condense it down and make a list of what you need, what we see on this fuse block the most is going to be like your GMRS radio, your fridge, a solar input. We do a lot from like Cascadia 4x4 to get rid of the inline fuse. And then the last one's going to be like an aux power, so like a bed power. So you have a cigarette lighter, 12 volt lighter, or a 12 volt plug in your bed, and then USB ports. You can also do that inside of the rear of a 4Runner. You can put it on the back of your center console on your trucks. But nonetheless, that's the 4 things that we see is used most for: aux power, fridge, radio, and solar input for smaller solar charge systems. In terms of the ground bar, and really this goes for any of these products or any of the products we work with, you can put up to 2 ring terminals on each of these screws. We've seen people put more. I don't recommend it. Technically, if you got longer screws, that would be fine. But you know, there's 5 screws here. You have 10 total circuits here. By the time, you know, say you have a higher amperage product, you're going to put it on the stud anyways. You have another stud, which is going to be the input power for the circuit coming from the ground here. And then 5 screws, you can double them up. So we usually go from this side and from this side to keep it nice and clean. Everything that we do here in the shop is labeled, and all the harnesses we ship out are labeled, so it makes it super easy. So that pretty much covers the bus bars. Let's go over install, because I promise this is easier than you think. If you are capable of changing your own car battery, which is very simple, I promise you can, with some very basic tools, then you're capable of installing this kit. So there's 2 slots here. The slots are different sizes. That's actually evolved over the years to fit the 4th and 5th gen 4Runner, 2nd, 3rd gen Tacoma, and the GX vehicles. So that's why those slots are like that. On the 4Runners, they're closer to 2 inches most years. Tacomas are closer to 3 inches apart. So that's the reason that those slots are asymmetrical like that. The kit will come with a little hardware baggie. It's got 2 bolts in it. The kit also comes assembled, as you saw. So what you're going to do is put this on the inner fender there. You know, fuse box is here, battery is there. Bolt goes in the back. We recommend tilting the system up. Makes it easier to get to that bolt, especially you 2020 plus 4Runners that have that little bracket there. You're going to take your front one, rotate that system down, run this all the way in, tighten them both down. Now your system's mounted and in the vehicle. It is that simple, and simply requires a 13 millimeter socket or wrench. From there, let's go ahead and pop our covers off of these guys. So you got your 3 covers off. Oh, let me go over something real quick, because some people don't realize this. This Garmin cover is easier to take off than you think. It has this little tab here that flips up and down, right? The little flippy tab. Take that guy, twist it 90 degrees, pop. Comes right off. Super simple, I promise. It's very easy. The whole thing is meant to be easy. So now you got covers off. You've got your 10 mil on the Garmin, 10 mil here, 10 mil here. 3 10 millimeters. You're gonna take those guys off. Your ground will go to the ground bar. Very important. From there, it'll go over or under the back of the fuse box, connect to your negative battery terminal. That's it for that one. Your other ground goes to the negative screw. It says it right there. There's a little ground symbol on the Garmin. Put that on there, run it to the battery. That's it for the grounds. Now your grounds are connected. Congratulations, made it easy. Next is your power. Your power, always connect your power at the product itself first. Because if you connect it to your battery first, onto your terminal block here, now this has power. So if you run this against something metal on your vehicle, it'll spark. And on this 125 amp fuse, that's probably gonna be a pretty big spark. Probably won't hurt you, but don't want to do that. You don't want to blow this fuse. They are pretty pricey. I believe these fuses are like $20 a piece. So you do not want to blow that fuse. And then, yeah, so it make life easy on yourself. Connect it to the ground there. This one will run back to your 50 or 60 or 40 amp fuse, whatever it is that you have in your kit. This is a 100 amp rated product. The vast majority of people will not get up to that 100 amps on the fuse block itself. The Garmin's 125 amps, but on the fuse block, most people won't fill it. So we put a little bit of a smaller fuse just to keep it protected a little bit closer to that threshold of where you're going to be using it at. So you're going to connect this there, run it up, connect it to that smaller fuse or lower amp fuse, and then the same thing, connect this to the Garmin and run it up. I hope that wasn't too complex. Essentially, this gets power, this gets power, this gets ground, this gets ground. It's that simple. From there, you can connect any electrical circuits you've got, whether that is light bar harnesses or your rear power or your radio or your solar input or your compressor control. Anything like that, get everything connected, and it is fully installed. You can install your covers. So quick recap: 2 bolts, 2 power cables, 2 ground cables, connected to the app, and you're done. Truly that simple. All right, guys, thanks for checking out our Garmin PowerSwitch kit. This setup is something that, like I said, we have spent literal years developing through trial and error, multiple renditions, all this type of stuff. Customer feedback as well. That's why we have the PIM nuts on there. The kit coming pre-assembled is part of the customer feedback stuff that we can do just to make it that much easier for you. We would install the battery cables as well, but man, it's already so easy that that would just mess up the packaging that much more. And I think the shipping it exactly how we do is the way to go. Comes with that nice, beautiful foam. As a recap, like I said, kit comes fully assembled, comes with everything you need. It's about a 30 to 60 minute install. If you have the SDHQ battery terminals, it's even easier. We highly recommend those. They'll be linked below as well. But thanks for checking out the kit. Head over to the website, look at it, see what you think about it. If you have any questions, there's a little chat messenger at the bottom of the website. Feel free to hit us up. We're always here to help you, whether you buy our kit or another one. We just love helping people get all their electrical products installed. So no problem. Always happy to answer questions and walk you through anything. If you need more of a complex, in-depth build electrical system design, we're happy to help with that as well. Provide any product we can, point you in the direction of product that we may not offer. So thanks for checking out the video. Subscribe if you want more of this electrical type content, showing off some of the products we offer, doing installs and all that. See you in the next one.